Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Lockup 2, the sequel to the original deck that locked the opponent out of the game. We've come back with a refreshed list that is still focused on locking the opponent out of the game. They showed up with cards they want to play, but we aim to stop that nonsense and turn them into a spectator. It's a great way to lose the friends you didn't want to be friends with anyways. Let's get in there. We're playing 3 copies of Authority of the Consuls, the 1-mana enchantment that slows down enemy men. The great thing about it is that we get to stop hasty enemies in their tracks. But we also complicate blocking for the opponent, and we also gain a life for every enemy that enters play. The life gain can counteract some of the damages we end up taking from early enemies and makes us more difficult to take down. That's a lot of upside from a 1-mana card. 3 Steps Ahead is an excellent card for this deck. We've used it in every synthesizer deck we've done for its excellent set of modes. Here too, we love all the different things the card allows us to do. Here, we do want a counterspell for those times we are not equipped to handle an opponent's play. But the mode we're probably going to use most is the copy option to give us a token of one of our men, especially if we copy something that keeps the opponent locked. Airbender Ascension is a 2-mana enchantment that lets us airbend one of our men or an enemy. It's a great way to delay a powerful enemy early on, or we can use it on one of our men to continue to lock the opponent out. Once we have 4 counters on it, we can blink one of our men at the end of each our turns. This gives us a way to refresh a conductor or use a spinner to bounce yet another permanent. It's almost like getting men for free. High Noon is the first of our lockout cards. This will prevent the opponent from playing more than 1 spell per turn. It does limit us as well, but our cards are designed to stop the opponent's plays. We're also packing cards that can bounce to further slow or stop the opponent. And the Ascension can essentially give us a free play that gets around the 1 card per turn restriction. Only one of us will get to play MTG. Voice of Victory in combination with High Noon locks the opponent out of playing cards during our turn. This gives them just 1 card that they can play, and it can only be during their turn. Even on its own, it stops the opponent from making any plays during our turn. Counterspells? Not today, Satan. This will force them to keep those in their pants. Aven Interrupter is the primary lockup bird. It was the key player in the original, and it has a lot of heavy lifting to do here as well. When it enters play, it exiles a target spell, likely the opponent's. And while they can replay those spells we nail with the Interrupter, they have to get through our wall of shenanigans. Split Up is our one-sided sweeper. We're packing this punch simply because Standard is so fast that opponents can sometimes get rolling before we've had a chance to set up. And being at 3 mana, it is a card we can fire off early, and it works well with the Authority. Argyr, Tidal Spinner, is our bounce guy. When he enters play, we can use his ability to bounce any non-land permanent. It's a great way to set the opponent back by forcing them to replay their card, and when we have them under lock, the bounce starts to set them back, and we can slowly, over time, return most of their board back to their hand. Skycoach Conductor is a new card that has an instant that we can fire off when the conductor is prepared. With Flash, we can drop in the conductor at any point and use his all aboard to save one of our men from a removal, or use it on an interrupter to make the opponent stop, drop, and roll. And once we have them in lockup, the conductor can keep the lockout rolling without us having to use additional cards. A key fact, since we are without dedicated card draw. Every little advantage that we can get is worth it in the battle to have us be the only ones playing the card game we know and love. Aang, Swift Savior, is another one of our lockout men. He can airbend a spell or any enemy that is already in play, or we can airbend one of our own men to reuse again later. As a bonus, we can waterbend 8 and transform Aang into a 5/5 beater that pumps all our other tapped men when he swings in. We have a good number of men with flying, so we can get through for damages fairly often, and Aang helps us there. Appa, Steadfast Guardian, is a big flying beater that can come down at instant speed and save our men from removals or a board wipe. Then we can reuse our men to continue the lockup. He can even save our situation if we've run out of ammo by bouncing our key men to keep them under lockup. And when we play a card from exile, Appa makes us a 1/1 token. Small men we can use to block while we get in through the air. Restoration Seminar is our top end. For those times when it has gone wrong and we have our key cards in the grave, we can slowly get back all our key pieces, and that includes our enchantments like High Noon. This also gives us the ability to sacrifice the High Noon to hit the opponent for 5 damage and get it back to repeat the process. That is going to be GG's. For lands, we're playing 2 Fountainport, the special land we can use to make tokens or to sacrifice them for draw. 2 Restless Anchorage, the Azorius Manland. 4 Hallowed Fountain, the Azorius Shockland. 4 Floodfarm Verge, the plains that becomes a duel when we have a plains or island in play. 2 Mountain, 5 Island, and 5 Plains. Playing the deck requires a great deal of planning ahead. It is often the case we fall behind in the early turns, but we have the capability to turn the game around in the later turns. We want to see a High Noon early to slow down the opponent. While it affects us too, we're ready to play only 1 card per turn. If the opponent gets a great start, we can use an Ascension to slow them down. Enemy men are usually the biggest threat, so do what you can to keep them under control. We normally don't want to trade our men off in combat, but don't be afraid to make critical blocks to preserve our life total. Once we have a key piece or 2 in play, we can keep the opponent from getting out of hand with our payload of lockup-capable cards. We've got the crew to make sure we're the only ones playing the game. Lock them up. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Jay. He likes being on the play and loves being put in lockup. We're kicking things off with a 4-lander that's got an Aang, an Appa, and a spinner. We've got none of our tools to lock them up, but what we do have can delay and confuse until we get more of our key pieces. Keep your pants on. They go with a Cecil. He wants to be a Dark Knight, but he's more like an annoying knight. They drop in a bat, and they really should take Aang here. They do take our Aang. It is the best choice from what we have in hand. We draw a High Noon. It is one of our key pieces. We have to decide if we want to go with it or with our spinner. Bouncing their knight really doesn't do much, but slow them down, and bouncing the bat means they simply replay it. The High Noon does give us a chance to eventually lock them up. They play out an Annex. They are not mono-black aggro, as we had thought. Demon Black can be a problem since they have plenty of card draw while we don't have much. Plus, their removals can be problematic. We draw another land, but that does give us enough for Appa, which we can play out at instant speed. It's amazing. They play out a second Annex without having a single demon in play. They send it even though they knew about Appa. It's not a surprise when we play it out, but it is a surprise they sent their bat. The land flow continues. We've got way more than we need. While it might seem it doesn't matter which land we play, the Fountainport does give us more options. We'll swing in, we're doing more damage to them, and with their bat gone, they're going to need a demon to reverse the life loss they are under. Even their one guy is hitting them as much as us. They go for another bat, but we have Aang available this time, and that will be their play for the turn. They showed up with double Annex, but didn't bring a single demon. Oopsie poopsie, bro. It's cost them the game. That's going to be GG's. Only a little bit of the lockup cheese. This is Tyler, and he gives us his zip code in case you want to move to his area, ladies. We get a 4-lander yet again, with double interrupter and a split up. This could work, but once again we're going to need some help from our draws. I mean, we do have a full 4 different cards that are at the 2 mana slot or less, and we don't seem to get them early. Keep your pants on, they smell it up in here. This could be landfall we're up against, and against their wall of men. Our split up could end up being what seals it for us. They warp in a Riddler, and while they do get a card from it, they haven't added to their board, and we can airbend their Smelf on our turn. The delay can easily give us a chance to get them in lockup. Against our deck, an opponent dropping plenty of permanents is a big threat. We'll hit their Smelf with our Ascension and make them play it again at twice its cost. We are going to Smelf you later, bro. They play out a new Smelf. Nothing stops the Smelf train, apparently. All that's left is for them to drop in the one we hit with our Ascension. Their 2 men does give them the ability to pay the full price of their Riddler. As much as I would love to see them drop their Riddler next time, we can clear out the Smelf Team 6 and prevent that from happening. They play out a Cub that does give them a pair of men, and they get a mana boost from any men that tap for mana. We draw a 3rd Interrupter. All we need is a High Noon for the lock. They passed the turn without making any plays, and they passed on attacking. It's possible they're holding a counter, so we'll try for Appa and see if we can get this flying caterpillar down on board. He goes through without a hitch. Now we can pressure their life total, and that will force them to react, whether they like it or not. We draw a spinner, and while I was going to lean on the power of the Interrupter, getting a body on board now could give them a sense of even more pressure to start making plays. We could bounce their Cub, but that would give them another land that can tap for 2 mana. They play out the Riddler finally. It's a big body that we can't attack into, and we're without a way to get it off the board. We draw a High Noon. If they are not able to destroy it, the lock will be on. This turn will drop in our Voice. That will stop them from playing cards during our turn. So all they have is 1 spell during each of their turns, unless they can take out the High Noon. They go with a Nature's Rhythm for 2, and that gets them another Cub. It's Cub Team 6. But on the bright side, that is their play. From here on out, we can stop what their plays and lock them out of the game. We draw a Conductor. He's going to shove them on the pain train after punching their ticket. Everything in hand can be played out at instant speed. We can stop their plays, and if they go without any plays, we can drop in the Conductor. They try for a Weaver, but we've got an Interrupter to make them put that back in their pants. The Interrupter coming in also gives us the last counter we needed on our Ascension. Now we can blink one of our men at the end of each of our turns. They check out our High Noon. I bet they're wondering why they can't play any more cards. We'll hold what we got, and at the end of our turn, we'll blink our Spinner, and that will send their Riddler back to their hand. This leaves the sky open for us to get through for damages. They try to show us their Joker, but we have an Interrupter that will make them put it back in their pants. We draw a Fountainport, which lets us play out our Conductor and leave mana up for our final Interrupter. The Conductor is going to guarantee our lockup for the rest of the game. Get in there. We'll blink our spinner. The bounce can send one of their cubs packing. They've seen enough. The lockup is too much. That's GG's, extra lockup cheese. This is Jew and Killer. There's his zip code, ladies. You know where to go. We get a 3-lander this time. We have some key men here that can get the job done and hold us up until we can lock it up. Keep your pants on. They smurf it up, a second opponent in a row that comes in flashing mana men. They play out an elite. When it enters, they'll get a smurf token. They're coming with numbers, which is bad news for us. The only good thing is that all their men are small. We draw a spinner. We'll pass the turn and wait for an opportunity to flash in one of our men. They go with a Smurf Lord that will pump all their Smurf a lots. That's going to be a no from us. We'll hit it with our Interrupter. Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is way too full. All they can do is send in their elite. We're not blocking. We want our men to fire back. We draw an Ascension and we have a decision to make. We can play it out and airbend one of their men, or we can keep using our flash men to keep the opponent from advancing their board. For now, I think it's best to keep delaying their plays. They go with a perfect. It too will pump their Smurfs and threaten to take us down. We'll stop their Smurf Lord with our second Interrupter. We can keep up with their elite and even get ahead in this damage race. We draw an authority, but we still have Aang to play, and that is yet another way to stop the opponent's spell. They go with their Smurf Lord once again, but this time it's Aang's turn to pump the brakes on their plan. And with Aang's stats, he can hold up their men, giving us a big advantage in the damage race. We finally draw a 4th land, but it's a man land. They will be finally able to break through our lock. That could give them a chance to get back in the game. We'll play out the spinner and bounce one of their men. The token is an excellent candidate. They drop in the big Elf Lord. It's the biggest thing on board, and it pumps all their Smurfs. They send it, and my first instinct is to block, but if we take the damages, we win on our next attack. We've got the Ascension, which we can use to airbend their big Lord. With it out of the way, we can send our team. That's GG's, extra Interrupter cheese. This is Tempest. We battle against a whole set tonight. We get a Shuffler special this time. We don't have any of our 2 mana or less cards to play out, so we are at the mercy of what we can get from the Shuffler. There's no way we can keep. Mull. Then we get a 4-lander with some of our fixings. This will do. Keep. We'll ship Manland. Most of our deck can be played for 3 mana or less. Plus, we want all 3 of our actual cards. We'll go with our authority. All their men will belong to us. They go with a rest in peace. Funny thing is, if all goes well for us, that card of theirs will be useless. We'll go with our Voice of Victory. That will stop them from playing anything on our turns. They fire off a split up just to take out our voice of victory. He didn't like that it was warming up. They play a land and pass the turn. We're in the standoff portion of the program. We're going to do the same. We're playing a land and passing the turn. There is no reason to try to be the first one to flinch. They want to trap our authority, but we've got a bird that will force them to retry that at a later date. We drew a high noon, we'll drop it in to seal their doom. We even have enough mana for our Aang. They try their trap once again, but Aang will take care of it. They throw down a surprise iceberg. Let's see what they take. They snipe our Aang, and that is a blow. While we can keep our lock going for another turn, Aang was going to be a critical piece. For now, we can drop in our Ascension, and we can airbend our Interrupter. We've got another turn of lockup before they will be free to play out their cards. They try their trap yet again, but our Interrupter will be there to greet it. We draw another Ascension, and the lock is still a go for yet another turn. They try for a replication. That is definitely not happening. Our Interrupter is doing all the lifting. No way we get a spinner. That is probably one of the best draws at this point. I'm so excited I even forget to attack in first and go for the spinner right away. Aang is going to airbend our Interrupter, and this lockup will continue. You've got one card to play out. Better make it a good one, bro. They try the replication yet again, even without anything on board to copy. But our Interrupter will put a stop to it yet again. We draw a second high noon. Let's send it first, then we'll play it out. With 2, we can sacrifice 1 to hit them for a big 5 spot. They throw down their surprise iceberg, but what could they even take? They aim their iceberg at our high noon. That's fine, we have a second one in hand. They activate their manland to throw an emergency block, but our hits will take them down to 10. That's within reach of both of our high noons. We'll blink both of our remaining men, we can use Aang to airbend their land, and the spinner will bounce their iceberg. We will have our double high noon board. They throw down a planetarium, but we haven't countered any of their spells. That will give them an extra play on our turn though, as long as they have a spell they can use on top. We draw a Seminar, but we are 1 mana short of being able to fire it off. We'll just swing in and see what happens. They hit on a sweeper, and that will take care of our men. Good thing we have High Noon backup. As long as they don't gain life, we can still take them out. They go for their trap. That isn't life gain, so we're still in it to win it. Amazingly enough, they are trying to swipe a High Noon. We'll sacrifice it to hit them for 5 instead. Suck it down, Appa. They jump for joy and activate their planetarium, but they already played a card this turn. 1 High Noon is gone, but we have a second one. File that under oopsie poopsie, bro. That's GG's High Noon cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.